We are getting a more complete picture of the Clintons and their earnings tonight. Hillary Clinton made millions giving speeches to companies that are backing a fast-track free trade agreement. As she ramps up her bid for the White House, there are increasing questions. Julianna Goldman took a closer look. Julianna's in D.C. What did you find?
Well, Jeff, that's right. And as you mentioned, since Hillary Clinton left the State Department, she earned millions of dollars delivering speeches. And 11 of the 41 speeches were actually to groups that have been lobbying Congress and federal agencies on trade. So we crunched the numbers, and it looks like in total she earned at least $2.7 million from these entities. As you know, trade is a politically explosive issue now. It's dividing Democrats. President Obama is pushing for trade promotion authority, and many Democrats are calling for Hillary Clinton to take a stand and say whether she backs the Pacific trade deal, the 12-nation trade agreement that the president is pushing, and also legislation which would allow the president to fast-track approval. So here's why it matters. $2.7 million is a small fraction of the $25 million that Hillary Clinton and former President Bill Clinton earned in paid speeches during that time. But it opens her up to criticism. Already, she's been dogged by questions about potential conflicts of interest with donations to the Clinton Foundation and Bill Clinton's paid speeches. So people are going to question whether or not she was influenced by that money if she does end up supporting the trade agreement.
And Julia, what companies are we talking about here?
So there are a bunch, but first of all, it's important to point out, Jeff, that these companies don't lobby exclusively on trade, but they did make up some of her most lucrative appearances. So we're talking, for example, about $335,000 from Qualcomm, $335,000 from the Biotech Industry Organization, $325,000 from Cisco. GE paid $225,000 to Clinton for a speech, and Xerox paid the same. Look, she was giving these speeches after she left the State Department, but at least in 2014, while she was actively considering running for president, she continued giving paid speeches up until March when she was planning to run for president.
And what has she said on trade so far?
Well, look, she's been pretty mum, and that's why it's important to take a look at these numbers potentially, because in New Hampshire last month, she said that any trade deal has to look out for workers' rights. But when she was Secretary of State, she pushed for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and in her book, she also praised it. Now her staff says that she's watching it closely. So trade is a very, it tends to be a politically challenging issue for Democratic presidential candidates who are courting union support and also progressive support. And in this case, look, it's not unusual for former elected officials to go out and give speeches and make a lot of money. But the issue here is that Clinton is coming back into government after getting millions of dollars from potentially special interests with business before the government.
All right, Julianna Goldman, thank you very much.